This is Dave Meltzer with Entrepreneurs The Playbook, and I have another champion in the ring and out of the ring, Jorge Masvidal. I gave it my best shot, UFC champion, but most people don't know your grit, street fighter, your heart, now transfers over into the business world, which I'm most interested in, and you're in the biggest industry, CBD, you have CBD, MD. Tell me to start, all the stuff that you learned from, the street fighting days, beating, Kimbo's boy, all the way to the championship, and even as an announcer, what skill sets are most used now just in the business world, which I think's the fiercest ring in the world?
I've been doing business for a while, for myself, for my brands. I have a mezcal line that I launched, and that's a lot of business. Every day I'm meeting with 20, 30 people, plus my team, plus their team, plus distributors. So my life has been sports and business since I could remember. Whether I'm negotiating a sponsor before, when I was up and coming, for $2,000 to be on my shorts, and we're negotiating, or a manager trying to get money out of me or something like this, So I've been dealing with business for a while. And one thing that I take from fighting, now you couldn't just get it from if you got in one street fight or something, but to fight at a high level, you have to be diligent, you have to outsmart and outtrain everybody. I always say this quote is one of my favorite. Abraham Lincoln said, if you give me 6 hours to chop a cherry tree, I'm gonna spend 4 polishing my axe, sharpening my weapons. And it's the same thing in fighting, it's the same thing in business. Everything I do with business, I research as much as I can. I wanna know as much as I can about it. I want to make sure that any type of business that I'm in there, I don't have to be the smartest guy in the room, but I want to know everything that everybody knows. You know what I'm saying? Related to that business.
And to that matter, you have a lot of mentorship around you. You ask for help. One of the difficult things about being an athlete is that a lot of people will take advantage of you, manipulate you. What are you looking for mentorship when you're finding someone that you can trust? Because so many people, you're around 20 people a day, are hitting you up.
Well, for starters, I'm with the guy that had faith in me before the world did, And as I started going up, the paychecks just kept getting bigger. This individual's never done me dirty. He's my manager, and he's also my best friend, So we've been a lot together through, It's tough to find somebody in my line of work that's actually solid, that tells you, I'm gonna get you $10,000 for this, and actually gets you $10,000 for that, because they'll pocket $2,000 and they'll be like, oh, it was only $8,000. It's hard to find those guys, and you would think in this business you wouldn't rip off a fighter, but they get ripped off plenty. But it happens to like all athletes. A lot of athletes don't have a good value of money.
Absolutely.
They make $100,000 for an appearance. Kind of that reality where money disappears, because man, I went to a nightclub and I got $100,000. So the reality for that money, it's misunderstood for athletes and celebrities a lot. When it comes to business, not at all for me, man. I'm business is business.
Yeah, and you pay attention. So, I ran a big sports agency, Leigh Steinberg Sports Entertainment, and I saw a lot of athletes not paying attention to what they do. Yeah. Obviously, you're a planner, you're a reader.
Yeah.
One of the things I loved about Kobe Bryant is he was a voracious reader, and you're looking for knowledge in a variety of different places. You talked about how alignment is so important. You spend 4 hours sharpening and polishing your axe before you chop down the cherry tree. Taking action is also important, and you're very productive with your time. There's so much you have going on with mezcal, with CBD, MD, with your other career in sports. How do you manage time, which is, I think, one of the biggest characteristics of successful business people?
I got goals in mind. I was laid out simple and plain for you, so it's not like this serious. I have goals in mind set. I had them in 2018, going in 2019 for the mezcal venture. For a lot of the business ventures, I had to do it right on my side, and it couldn't have gone a degree to the left or the right. It had to be exactly the way it did. I got Fight of the Year, Knockout of the Year, Fastest Knockout of the Year. All these things, they were already pre-planned. We had a plan in motion. Whether it went this way or that way, we had a plan in motion, and we executed that plan to a T. I think with business, it's a lot like that. You got to put the blinders on and just go, man. And that's what I do. I submerge myself in work. I really don't go out. And if you see me at a nightclub, I'm getting paid to be at that nightclub. And then I'm immediately back home getting ready for my gym session. Yesterday I was here all day, but if it wasn't here all day, I would have been at the gym all day. And that's all I do is I'm at the gym or I'm at the office. I'm at the gym, I'm at the office. For me, it's easy to submerge myself in work. A lot of people want to be successful, but they want to go to the club on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday, and then on Monday they're getting outperformed by everybody in the fucking office, and they're wondering, why don't I get the raise and the promotion? Shut your fucking ass up. That's why, man. Get to work, you know. And that's something that I do. I don't give a fuck about the social media, about even hanging out, man. If it's not productive to what I'm doing, I'd rather just get some rest time and go to sleep than go to a bar and have a beer with somebody and just bullshit. It's not my cup of tea, you know?
Yeah, well, you're obviously extremely focused, competitive, and gritty. There's a money component to it, right? You obviously, like me, I grew up poor like you. My goal was to buy my mom a house and a car.
That's a great goal, man.
9 months out of law school, I did it, became a multimillionaire myself, lost $100 million and made it back by being focused again. I lost my focus just like an athlete, right? I thought I was bigger than the game.
I'm gonna pick your brain, man.
Well, I do executive coaching with guys like you to help show that. But one of the interesting things is, what is your relationship with money? Because I didn't have a good relationship with it, because for me, I dreamed about it so much, then I had everything, and then I felt empty, right?
Yeah.
You seem to just be driven. Where do you see that relationship with money?
Well, at first, money was like the slippery thing, I would say, you know, to get like a hold of it. You know, coming up, money was very scarce. Memories of going like to the supermarket and whatever the government allowed us to buy, that's what was bought. And you like, oh, I want that. And your mom's like, no, you're not getting that. So those like memories to, man, I'm gonna have my fridge filled with so much food one day and things like that. So those are things I like. If my fridge is full, I'm happy, man. You know, but money's tough, man. You need it, but I'm not in love with it, you know?
Yeah.
I chase it a lot because
when you chase it, yeah.
I chase it because my kids are gonna definitely need it. My father, my family, I have a lot of people to look after, you know, and this is one way to look after them, you know?
And it's interesting, you talk about, you know, because I had the same experience with food in our family, you know, there wasn't enough food. I remember my mom, 6 kids, buying 2 French fries, putting it in a bowl, and, you know, it was a big deal, too, to get something that wasn't, you know, from the grocery.
Yeah.
But I remember when my mom could not provide for me, what her face looked like. I still get choked up, working 2 jobs, packing my dinner in a paper bag, you know, and literally when I get lazy or complacent, like
you get those memories back.
Yeah, I put it right back in. Is there something in your visionary framework that you think about, like when things get tough, you're like, wait, hold on a second.
Yeah,
I'm the baddest motherfucker off the field.
Just you shared that memory, and memory popped in. My mom she was working for a dollar car rental agency. She also had a job as a cardio instructor at like a Baddest total fitness. So she'd put like 4 hours in, and at the time she was getting like $20 an hour exerting work because she was doing the cardio classes, but she was getting money there. And then on top of that, she used to get necklaces. She'd have these huge boxes, and she'd put all these necklaces and beads together, make like these nice necklaces and ship them out to wherever they were going to. And that was her gig Monday through Sunday. And I was just watching her do this. I'd be sleeping on the couch. We'd be staying at my aunt's house. She had a mattress on the floor. And I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I'd just watch my mom doing these necklaces. So it set in me a work drive to, if you want something, there's nothing about it but just doing that something, you know? I'm gonna be the best rock climber, the best basketball player, you gotta get after it. So those memories right before I compete, if I'm not where I need to be at, everything happens here before it happens in the body. It all happens up here. I know what memories to pick from. I'm not feeling hungry enough. I just gotta remember when I used to be hungry all the time, going to sleep hungry. I wake up and go get that workout in, you know?
Yeah, creating reality. I always say ego, the EGO, edges either goodness or gold out of your life. When you got an ego, right? And you're so humble, but fear is something that gets in the way of people.
Yeah.
And to be a champion like yourself, and literally the baddest motherfucker on earth, literally, how do you, I have a practice, it's called practice ending fear, because the less fearful I am, the more I can draw from the source of power I'm connected to. How do you practice ending fear?
It's not that I don't feel fear, because a lot of people might mistake it. It's not that I don't feel fear, it's I grow with the fear. You know, if, God forbid, something happens like I've been in situations where bad public things have happened, where people freeze and I react and move, my adrenaline starts pumping. When I get fear released, something else gets released, which is my adrenaline, and it starts to course through my body. So for me, it's easier to deal with fear. I actually paid to get scared. I want to go to a scary movie that can scare me.
Nice.
So fear doesn't really, I don't see it, not in my sport and fighting. I have fear more of business negotiations. Man, I'm putting a lot of time and effort into this and money. Let's see how it goes. But in fighting, there's not much fear associated with it.
it feels as if you're more afraid of losing money than losing a fight.
Yeah, that's for a fact, you know.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, or even getting hurt in a fight. It's not even a thought in my mind, you know.
Yeah. And now, as far as your kids and your family, that's what motivates me. I always say, I make money to help people. In fact, people ask about your why, and I always say, everybody already knows their why. They may be afraid to share it, but it's always to help somebody else. That's what really motivates us. But there is also, a discipline to doing things every day. And I love the fact that you talked about, even the guy that just goes out to the club on Thursday, he exponentially is weaker than you, right? What does consistency mean to you in your success?
Consistency is consistency times sacrifice times dedication equals success. It's just every day piecing it together. I've always been good at my craft, so I haven't always lived this, not that I'm straight edge, but this firm focus on what I'm doing, I used to go out till 4 or 5 in the morning, get in my car, go to the gym, sleep there for like 4 or 5 hours. When practice would be at 9:30, I'd wake up, go kick everybody's butt off 4 hours of sleep, and go about my day, And I did that for a long time because I was like, man, but I'm better than all these guys. Why should I have to change? And I would tell my coach, well, why do I have to change? I beat your best guy. I wasn't pushing myself. That was me at my worst. I might have still been the best guy in the room, but that doesn't mean that was going to make me ready for the world. So it's a lot of times people, I think, undersell themselves. They rather be doing things that are absolutely detrimental to them that they don't even know. Even maybe watching TV, watching something stupid that you don't need to be watching on top of, instead of getting rest or reading something that might save your life one day or things like that.
Expand your life.
Expand your life,
So 2 things that I teach that I see for the future generations, being a top executive business coach, people ask me, my kids, what would you encourage my kids to do? Number 1 thing is just toughness.
Yeah.
I don't think that we're teaching toughness the way that we learn toughness.
No,
and whether you have money or not, even kids that don't have money, they don't have this grit, this grind. And then 2 is
these things have just destroyed kids' minds. They don't go outside and play and get hurt. It's so many things, man.
Stick up for themselves, stick up for others.
Yeah, now they have this thing where if you're getting bullied, go tell somebody about it instead of dealing with it yourself, Yeah. I think that builds a lot of character. If I could just tell you, hey, don't make fun of me. Leave me the F alone. I shouldn't have to tell somebody, I think,
Yeah, and then them tell somebody as well. It's interesting that you say that because most people would have thought when you answer that, you'd be like, you need to stick up yourself and beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
You weren't. You were diplomatic saying, hey, you're just
if somebody's threatening to hit you, you got to end them is always what I say.
In 5 seconds or less.
5 seconds or less, and that's it. And then walk away before the cops get there.
Exactly. That's awesome. Looking at CBD, there's a lot of growth. There's a lot going on in the space. CBD MD, what makes it unique?
For me, a couple things. So there's a certain period in time where THC cannot be in my system. When I take the CBD product, I have to make sure a ban for me could be 2 years or more. Talk about money, time, goals not being met, all these things. So when I put a product in my body, into the temple, I have to make sure that what they told me is correct. And they're one of the few that at this level that's third-party tested to make sure there's no THC. So firefighters, policemen, I just didn't want to, the main thing with me is I don't want to sell product to the people that actually I don't stand behind. I don't believe it, We got to research the things. Why are they so clean? Why are they doing so well? And they're all I think they're the only CBD company in the stock exchange as well. So they had a lot of options that to me were like, wow, this is amazing, man. I like this,
Today, they just, MLB accepted CBD, THC, and marijuana. They took it off the list.
Wow, I didn't know that.
CBD is a curative medicine. And I see a fast transition, and with the opiate addiction and painkiller addiction,
that's the worst,
these are substitutes, and you have utilized CBD, and nobody needs recovery faster than a fighter. Have you seen the same medicinal effects, this natural medicinal effects from CBD?
I'm with CBDMD for months now. We're going to be in a year. But in the fighting community, CBD is huge for us. Huge for us. Because there was a time right before mine where it was a lot of, how you mentioned, pharmaceuticals, pain pills. I never wanted to be hooked on anything, you know? So I can take all the CBD I want tomorrow and I'm done. I don't have to ever take it again if I don't want to. My body's not gonna crave it. I'm not gonna be scratching my face. These are things though that I saw since a kid. I was 17 in the gym with guys that are 34, 35, and I'm seeing how banged up they are. And I'm seeing what they're taking by to get by. And I remember a lot of them when their careers came to an end, them telling me, find another way, man. There has to be, because I was young when I got into the sport, I started popping pills for pain, for performance, and now I'm a mess. I'm hooked to these things. It's not a good thing. Hands are swollen for no reason. Faces are turning different colors. So I knew since a kid, like, no matter what happens, I'm not doing these pills. I found the CBD, and man, maybe I found it like 7, 8 years ago. And I'm telling you, my hand, I have to create force with this meat impacting your face, your rib, your arms. It's every day. It's not like I did it Monday and then I don't do it again till next. No, it's every day I'm cracking something. So just imagine the amount of injuries that I've had in the hand and the amount of miles that I got in the hand. So on a day-to-day, on a week-to-week, month-to-month, I'm constantly swollen everywhere. If I kick somebody in the head, it still hurts me. My shin will still get a little bit swollen. It's making impact, you know? So one thing that is like crazy to me is that, man, sometimes I can't even put my shoes on, and CBD will literally help me. Like for within a half a day to a day, the swelling will go down tremendously, you know? I can't put my shoes on. How crazy is that? I'll wake up, and I gotta be in sandals all day, you know?
Last question about the other business, mezcal. Obviously, people think of the alcohol space, the distribution of liquor is a very crowded space. But yet, every year there's new brands that get bought and sold for over $1 billion. What are some of the unique aspects of mezcal, and why did you get involved?
We did our homework diligently. We had a couple companies offer us with very enticing deals, a lot of upfront money, and we did all the pros and cons of every deal possible. Another thing that I also invested in, this is strictly business talk, I saw the lines, the profit margins that I could make from mezcal compared to vodka, compared to whiskey that are selling, I don't know, I forget the exact numbers now, but they're up there in the cases. Yeah. Hundreds of thousands of cases, 750,000 cases, 900,000 cases. I saw the mezcal cases where they were getting sold out, and I said, whoa, there's a huge disparity here. Tastes amazing. I've never had a hangover from it, so that's the main reason why I stick to it. I was like, man, if I could bring this to the States, I have a huge ceiling. I have a lot of room for growth, and that was probably one of the selling points of why we stuck with mezcal.
So there's a lot of fans out there. There's a lot of entrepreneurial fans out there. Just to finish up, what's your best piece of advice or best lesson that you've learned in the cage or out of the cage?
It's tough, man. It's gonna hit people like in a weird spot, but all day long as human beings, if you have a phone or a wallet, you're a target already. To marketing, to this, to that. There's so many opinions, I feel. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody wants you to hear their opinion. You're getting bombarded everywhere you go with all these thoughts. It's hard to know what you yourself are thinking up here, because the music is giving us messages, which I don't think are that good. The TV's giving us messages. And on top of that, you have to find your own avenue, create your own space with all this negativity around us. I think it's good to unplug for people, you know? Before you go into something, not everybody I know could do it. But if you could unplug, get away from your phone 5-6 hours every day and be able to just be by yourself, see what thoughts come out of here after a duration of time, after long periods of just you and your thoughts, not your buddy telling you, hey, let's go to the bar and bowl and pick up chicks. No, just you. See what you come up with on your own. And I think that's helped me out tremendously. That could help out a lot of people, I feel, as well.
I think so. And Jorge, I really appreciate you coming on. You're a man who votes for what he wants and takes action to go get it. Yes, and you truly are the baddest motherfucker on earth.
Thank you, my brother.
What a pleasure. This is Dave Meltzer with Entrepreneurs, The Playbook.